Namaskar. I'm Suruchi Das and you're watching Ritam News. Child marriage has long been a blight on Indian society, a practice that undermined the very foundation of progress and equality. Despite decades of efforts to eradicate this harmful tradition, it continues to cast a shadow over the lives of countless children. 20 to 25 years ago, child marriage was often overlooked, deemed a norm that didn't warrant serious concern. However, in today's world, this practice has emerged as a pressing issue, drawing attention and igniting debates about the rights and futures of young girls and boys alike. Despite growing awareness of the adverse effects of marrying children off at a young age, which can lead to a lifetime of mental and physical challenges, many families remain entrenched in this tradition. It is alarming that even in the face of education and advocacy, some are unable to break free from these age-old customs. Recently, the central government called upon the Supreme Court to enforce the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act across all communities, irrespective of religion. However, the court's responses have raised eyebrows, as its comments often seem to intertwine legal matters with religious considerations. This ambiguity undermines the gravity of the issue at hand. The Supreme Court has proposed various measures to combat child marriage, such as awareness programs allowing magistrates to take action on their own, establishing fast-track courts in cooperation with state governments, and pursuing legal avenues to address this issue. Yet, when it comes to child marriages within certain religious frameworks, the court has remained conspicuously silent, citing a pending bill before a parliamentary committee and noting the confusion surrounding personal laws in relation to the PCMA. It is particularly concerning that while the Supreme Court is advocating for prevention of child marriage, societal norms like the Muslim personal law permits marriages of girls as young as 15. This not only normalizes the practice but also signals that under these beliefs, such actions are not deemed problematic, leaving affected individuals unprotected by law. Shouldn't India strive for uniform laws to combat child marriage? Shouldn't those who invoke the Constitution to demand equality also uphold it in their practices? Or is the quest for freedom in this context merely a way to regress society to archaic times rather than propel it forward? These questions remain largely unanswered, highlighting the complexities of this issue. Protests have erupted across India, with some groups citing constitutional rights while simultaneously resisting calls for change in extremist practices. When faced with the need to reform, many unite to defend their personal laws, issuing threats against any perceived infringement. The impact of extremist interpretations of personal law extends beyond individual communities. It infiltrates the country's judicial system. In 2022, the Punjab and Haryana High Court ruled a Muslim girl's marriage valid based on Sharia, a ruling that was echoed by the Jharkhand High Court in another case. This selective enforcement of law raises serious concerns about justice and equity in a nation committed to constitutional values. Consider the implications. In a country where the law is expected to be deterrent against crime, one religion appears to be granted the freedom to perpetuate oppression against its women through self-imposed regulations. Young girls can be married off, face triple talaq, and be subjected to horrors of halala, raising the question of whether this constitutes true justice. The consequences of child marriage are manifold and indiscriminate, affecting all children regardless of their religious backgrounds. Early marriages halt girls' education, stifle their social development, expose them to domestic violence, and lead to myriad of health problems. Boys, too, are not spared. They face pressure to abandon their studies, enter the workforce prematurely, while girls are compelled to take on family responsibilities far beyond their years. Those who advocate for child marriage fail to recognize that as the world progresses, their children may feel increasingly out of place, with their potential stifled. If justification for this practice hinges solely on personal law, such obstinacy only serves to rob future generations of their rights, leaving them both physically and mentally weakened from a young age. In conclusion, the fight against child marriage must be at forefront of societal reform in India. Only through unified action, rigorous enforcement of laws, and a commitment to education and awareness can we hope to eradicate this persistent bane and a secure, brighter future for all children. Jai.